boys and girls. It's Miss O'Brien. Today we're going to learn about how to monitor and clarify things when we're reading. Pay attention as you read, and if something doesn't make sense, try these things to help us understand. The first thing that we need to look at is we need to be rereading the parts of the text that we don't understand. So if you're reading a book and you finish the entire page and you aren't sure what you just read and you're like, oh, I don't really remember what happened, that's when you need to reread. It happens a lot of times. Even to me, it happens. So it's really important to reread your text to understand it. The next thing is use what you already know to connect to the text. So use your prior knowledge, what you already know, when you're reading. Maybe something's like makes you think, oh, I remember a time when I went fishing too. Or that makes me think of a time that I went to bed early and had steak for dinner. Whatever you're reading, whatever the case may be, use your prior knowledge to connect to it so that you can understand the text a whole lot more when you do that. And then the next thing is look for visual cues. How can the headings, captions, pictures, or special type help me? So the pictures on the front cover or the title of the book, that can tell you a lot about what the book is going to be about. Or sometimes I like to, before I even read a book, I like to scroll through all my pages and look at all the pictures. And that way I can get a really good idea about what the story is going to be about. So it's really important to look at your visual clues. And then lastly, ask questions about the parts that you don't understand. Like, what was the paragraph mostly about? Or why did the main character say that? A lot of times I have questions. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I really understand because that was confusing to me. And a lot of times I'll have to ask myself questions like, why did the main character say that? And most of the time it can actually help you predict what's going to happen next in the story. So that's super important also. And then now we are going to start a book. We're not going to finish the book. We're just going to read a little bit of it, and we're going to try and monitor and clarify the things that we're reading. So this book is called My School Trip by Ali G. Mays and illustrated by Elisa Chavari. And illustrated means drew the pictures or created the pictures. The illustrator did the pictures, and the author is who it's by. Okay, so the first page says, it says, we took a school trip. Here, I'll show you. We took a school trip. Okay, so let's pause for a second. As I read, I pause when I don't understand something. The text says that they're taking a school trip. One girl doesn't look happy and excited like the other children. I can try different things to help me understand this, like asking questions, rereading the text, and looking for clues in the pictures. So let's look at it. I'm wondering, so I asked myself, that doesn't really make sense. We took a school trip, but where are we going? We don't have very much information in this first page. So let's look at the visual clues, the picture, and the book is right. This little guy, he's smiling. The next girl is smiling. And then the first girl getting onto the bus, she's not very happy. So we aren't sure why yet, but let's look into it. The next page says, first, we took a bus. Nan was my partner. And then, Nan was new at school. Was Nan mad? Was Nan sad? So let's look at this. This little girl right here, she looks really happy. And then these two are just kind of confused and not sure. I bet it's because Nan is new to the school and she's just not sure what to think yet. And then on the last page we're going to read today, it says, the trip was to Butterfly Garden. So now, the very first page, when we had questions, this page right here clarifies where their trip was and what they were doing. So first, let's talk about Butterfly Garden. A butterfly is an insect that usually has beautiful wings. And then a garden is an area where plants like flowers and vegetables can grow. So I wonder, what happens at Butterfly Garden? Pause this video and tell me what you think happens at Butterfly Garden. Turn and talk to your teddy bear or your parent or your brother and sister and tell them what you think happens at Butterfly Garden. Welcome back. All right, what is some evidence that we know about this picture? What is in this picture? Let's see. So we have she might be a teacher, she might be working at Butterfly Garden, and then we have all of our students here and another teacher. And then what is this right here? That's a butterfly. And then here's another one. So as you can see, this picture in this book on this page tells us so much about Butterfly Garden. And so we need to practice all the time, all of our clues, so we can ask questions, we can reread, and we can look at visual clues. And those are very important when we're trying to monitor and clarify our reading. So tomorrow, you and another teacher are going to read through the rest of this book, and we'll keep reading to see what happens at Butterfly Garden.